good, guys? I hope everybody is doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about, as the thumbnail said, outgrowing your life. Okay. Now, here's the thing, everybody outgrows things. Like, it's not like some magical thing that happens with the sparklies and all these things happening. Everybody outgrows things. And it's key, though, when it comes to our spiritual journey, that we listen to the things that we have outgrown. Because if we don't listen, we end up repeating the same thing and constantly in a stagnant motion, and we're constantly doing the same thing over and over again. But we no longer desire to be in that space. So because we don't desire to be in that space, I wrote down a few notes here that I'm going to be going over for you guys, right? So let's get started. The first thing we want to talk about is feeling disconnected, right? That's the first thing you get. Like, I cannot tell you guys how many times, like, I've disconnected from music, from shows, from TV, really. I really only watch uplifting things and things that can help me catapult my business into being something magnificent and great to help others heal, okay? So for me, I don't really do a lot of mainstream things. I don't really like to watch a lot of mainstream TV shows or listen to certain music. I feel like there's a connection there energetically that people don't realize, okay? And it's just not for me. So even going to clubs, parties, bars, things like that, I don't connect with that. I don't resonate with that. It don't seem fun to me. I've been there. I've done it. It's nothing that I feel at the end of the night that I can say I had a great time. Because in order to do all these things, you have to put things into your body, spirits into your body, which is alcohol, guys. They call alcohol spirits for those who don't know. Or you have to smoke and drink and have this experience and doing this in order to have fun. Like, it's not really my thing, okay? I don't really listen to a lot of the mainstream music, so I don't really know the music. And on top of that, like, it just doesn't fit for me. So it's not something that I feel comfortable with. But, to each his own. But you might notice when you go places, things feel off. And I know for me, like, I truly do not like going to places like that, okay? I just don't. But, okay, you might feel strange, like a stranger in your hometown or in your own home, or conversations with people might just be surface level, and you might be craving something deeper. I know when I first started my spiritual awakening, this was me. I was trying to seek things. I couldn't tell people about my experiences. I couldn't tell people about the things that I was seeing, the dreams, the experiences through meditations and stuff like that, because the people in my corner, they really wasn't into that space, okay? They really didn't understand what I was saying. So I remember one time I really was in that space where I was just like, oh, I had a friend, and she used to work with me, and I tried to tell her about some spiritual things that I was was happening or whatever. But the way I felt once I told her, it was not inviting. It was not a loving, beautiful feeling. She made me feel like I was crazy or something. And it was just like, okay. And then my relationship with that friend started to trickle off. So being in a place where you start to feel like, hey, I desire to have more than just surface level talk, okay? That is key. That is one of the biggest things, okay? So you might also notice you crave more in depth and a purpose, okay? Guys, I don't know about you guys, but when I was 14, I started thinking about my purpose then, okay? Like, I was literally walking back and forth to school every day, so sad because I did not understand what my purpose was, but I knew it was something that I was supposed to remember, and I could not remember it for the life of me. So it made me feel bad. I just did not understand it. I didn't get it, and I was just like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But every time I went to church, I always had these experiences where the pastor's wives, and specifically the pastor's wives, would literally walk up to my mom and say, it's something beautiful there for her. Keep her in the church, keep her doing this, keep her, she got big plans, like whatever it is, she's gonna be doing it. And it's not like they did that for everyone. I only seen them do that with me. So I really didn't understand what it was, and that added pressure that added a lot of pressure to me because I felt like, okay, what is this thing? What am I supposed to be doing? So craving that purpose is definitely on the list, guys. Another thing on the list, you might start asking yourself deeper questions. Deeper questions that people around you are comfortable with being surface with. And that right there is not fun, okay? Because I know on a deeper level, like we kind of want to be in that space where we are able to freely open, ask questions, and talk to people. This is why you have to build communities in order to get to that point so you can have these conversations with people, because not everybody care to be in that space or have those type of conversations, okay? It literally scares some people, okay? Because they only want to go with what they know. They only want to go with what's on the surface. They don't want to go any deeper than that. They don't care to question how the universe got started and who really are the angels and who really are we and our origin stories and all these things. Like, they don't care for those things. So you might notice there might be people in your life that may be doing the same thing, okay? Now, all right, so when we're thinking about it, you might start to feel like you're having a loss. Like there's something lost. It feels like something's missing. Like, I don't know what it is. I just feel like something's missing. Like, I have been through that too. And I know you guys, if you're watching this video, you probably have too. But think about that. Like, you start to feel like you're in limbo. Like there's something there that's missing. You know, you're unsure of what to happen. That's supposed to happen next. You don't really know which way to go. You're not really sure, like, what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Like, what is the grand plan, okay? Now, you're not crazy, and it doesn't mean you're lazy. It's you're not confused. It's just this portion of your life, this is where you're in the middle of two phases, right? You may be in the middle of two phases, or you could just be misaligned, okay? If you're in that place, you might be misaligned. So this is where I would tell you to start meditating. Start doing meditative breathing, listening to pure tones, frequency music if you can handle it. Everybody can't handle the pure tones. I love them. But start doing that and you will start to see the shift. It also comes with you probably needing to switch up your diet as well, because eating plants is the key, guys. They literally pass on information. They literally heal the body. They literally do everything you need them to do, okay? Now, I know there are some meat eaters out here that just cannot go without your meat. That's fine, but try to incorporate more greens, more leafy things, more plant food than meat, okay? Now, you might also notice you become more sensitive to all energies. Like if you're in crowds, around people with negative energy, negative entities, things like that. I noticed that for myself years ago, right before my spiritual awakening happened, because it was just like, I just be around certain people and their energies just felt bad to me. Like, it was like, almost like I instantly would reject people because it's like, oh, no, no, no. Like, well, what did that person do? Nothing. Why do I feel that way? I don't know. I just know the answer is no, you know? So I went through that phase as well, guys. So, you know, only advice I can give you about that really is to trust it. Because there were times where I did not trust that feeling with so-called friends and co-workers, and these people secretly hated me. But they were always in my face, and they were always talking to me, and they were always telling me their business, and I was always giving them advice. But it was like, at the end of the day, when the truth came out, they tried to play dumb. They act like they didn't know what I was talking about. You know, they had to eat it. You know, they had to eat those words. They had to eat the things that they said, because the things they were speaking down on me about, I succeeded in. Everything that they doubted me for, I did. I accomplished, okay? Even all the way down to my relationship, okay? So I'm gonna tell y'all now, like, y'all gotta guard yourself against these fake friends and fake people that can be in your life, because sometimes they just want to see where you going, and they might like that negative energy which you're drawn to. Because when I'm in that state back then, I was in such a negative place. I was in such a negative place, and I think they were drawn to that. And then it just led to me wanting to change, me wanting to be better, and them shifting into being those type of people when they seen my life was changing around. I was buying a house, I was getting married, I was happy every day. I was coming in bouncing and just excited and not complaining as much about life and all these things. And it just seemed like, bro, like, I don't know. It just seemed like something switched in them that made them feel that way because they wasn't behaving that way, but clearly they always felt that way. So trust your instincts, okay? And, okay, we're going to move on. Like, your sensitivity isn't a weakness either. I just want you to understand that too, because I promise you guys, like, when you're in that place where you start to notice the shift, the difference in the things that is happening, it is not for you to be afraid of. It is not for you to try to figure it out and hold on to people, because a lot of people do that. They try to hold on to the people so tight that's trying to leave their life. They're not meant to be there anymore. They have served their purpose. It is time to go. You do not need anybody else in your corner. Let them go. Do not hold on to things and people. They may not be in alignment with your path. And because they're not in alignment with your path, there's no need for you to hold on to them any longer. You release them. You have learned, you have received that information or whatever you need to get from that friendship or relationship. And now it's time to go. Okay, and this can also be a job, guys. Like, you can really replace friendship relationships with anything, because if you have learned a lesson from it and you no longer, feel connected to it, let it go, because that sensitivity is more like a spiritual upgrade. Okay, it's not like something that you have to feel like, oh, I just don't know what's wrong with me, because I know people who do that. It's like when you're trying to coach them, they say this a lot, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I do that. Like, it's not that something's wrong with you. It's just that your energetic frequency is tuning in like a radio station. So now you can start to dial into the things that you really want, and the things that no longer serve you don't feel good anymore. Okay. So think about it like that, because it's not always something that you need to be fearful of or worried about. Sometimes people are not meant to be in your corner no more, and sometimes things just don't feel good to you anymore. And that's where you have to understand. And it doesn't matter if they're family, it doesn't matter if they're friends, it doesn't matter if they're in your world, your coworkers, whatever. Sometimes you just drift apart from people, and that is perfectly okay. But you have to understand that, and you have to be okay with it, okay? Now, let's move into relationships real quick, since I mentioned relationships, okay? Because one of the biggest things is like what I just talked about, is the friend drift, right? When you start to do better, when you start to upgrade spiritually, when you start to get to that space where you are healing yourself, when you are getting your dreams, your desires, your manifestations, everybody can't go with you. And I'm going to say this because I think a lot of people think that because they gossip with these people, that, they hang out with these people, they know these people, y'all been in each other's lives forever, it feels like these things can't shift. Well, I can tell you now, like, I've had relationships that I have been in, like, friendships and relationships with since I was in middle school. And guess what? Me and these people don't even communicate. It's one thing because it's like, I understand that everybody's busy, and we all are busy. We all have kids. We all got things going on. But purposely, I feel like we're just drifted apart. Like, we've just drifted apart. Like, I feel no feelings about not communicating with people, because I feel like at the end of the day, like, it's a choice. It's a choice, because I could call and text and whatever, but I've noticed that when I was doing that, I was really the only one doing that. So I understand that from that perspective, that my energy could have shifted and then it just didn't resonate with theirs or whatever. So I'm okay with that. I just want them to be well. I want them to be at peace. I want them to be happy and whole, But it doesn't mean that they hate you and all this other things, because like, it's nothing for you to get upset about if you and your friends are drifting apart. You just need to understand where you are on your journey, okay? And just focus on that. You no longer relate to certain people, and you may start to feel lonely in a circle. Like, I definitely felt this, because I felt like I couldn't talk about my spiritual experiences with people. And it made me sad. It made me very sad, because I didn't understand, like, what was happening to me, it wasn't the typical church thing that, your parents suggest and say that is going to happen. And, everything outside of what they teach you is normally taboo. It's like a no. Like, that's not weird. That's not that. No, you don't tell people that. You don't talk about this. You don't do this. But what if these experiences are happening to you and you don't know where to turn? Like, and you want to talk about it. So like I said, I tried to talk about it with a few people and they just kind of like rejected the idea, or it scared them. So it's like, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do now? And then you just left sitting there feeling that energy. But you're not alone with that, because your girls truly has went through that. So, and still go through that, okay? It's just certain experiences that you have that, even if you say something about it, like, people don't really understand the depth in which it feels, the depth in which the magnificence that come with it, it's just so many factors that factor into that. But I think it's important that we understand that it's okay if you're in that space. It won't last always, because there's going to be people in your corner, especially in this community, who probably had spiritual experiences, who are willing to talk about them with you. I am. I like talking about my experiences. I think they're beautiful. And it also takes you out of that cookie cutter mold and feeling like, okay, this is what life is supposed to be like. This is what it's supposed to be like on a spiritual path. Like, everybody's spiritual path is different, because we all have spiritual gifts. And those spiritual gifts may not manifest until you start healing. Mine didn't start manifesting until, well, actually, like, elementary school is the first time I experienced my gifts. Okay. I didn't know what they were. I didn't understand what was happening, but I had always been having these gifts, and I didn't understand how to explain them to people, especially because they just look at it and be like, oh no, that's not, no, it's okay. Like, and then they just try to shove it back down so that they don't have to talk about it or whatever. But these are some of the things that I went through too, guys. So you're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone. Join this community if you haven't. If you're watching this video, join the community, because I would love to be able to discuss these things with you guys. I want to know your guys' spiritual experiences, because it is absolutely beautiful on some fronts, and sometimes we have negative experiences that happen spiritually too, but sometimes it's just because you need to cleanse your energetic field, okay? Because you need to clean your clutter. You got to clean your clutter out in your subconscious, in your mind, because a lot of the times we're holding on to things that hurt us, the pain, the stagnation, all these things of feeling like we're not where we want to be. All these things come in, and then these sneaky little, D words, demons, which aren't always entities, guys. Sometimes they can be the things that hold you back. Okay, and it could be like self-sabotage type things. Okay, so if we start to look at them differently, then we understand that, in a space where we're trying to heal, we need to understand that these sneaky little things come in, and they come in through our subconscious. And if they're running things in the back of our head, guess what? They manifest in some kind of way. So it's important that you check yourself and check them at the door. Okay, don't allow negative thoughts to keep running in your head. Stop them at the door if you can. Change your mind up. Put on frequency music. Do something to clear negative energy out of your field, because it's going to help with this part, okay? So it's also important to understand you're not really outgrowing the relationships, that you're just getting better, okay? You're getting better, and those who are meant to be in your world are going to be in your world. That's how I look at it. I no longer see, like, I don't care if you're my cousin. I don't care if you're my aunt. I don't care if you're my uncle, auntie, grandma. Like, if you're meant to be in my world, bro, you gonna be in my world, okay? If you love and care for me, you're gonna be in my world. If you're not one of those people who love and care for me, okay, like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to say about that, because I literally am one of those people who are okay with you coming and going. I do not hold on to people anymore. It used to make me sad, but I think I've healed so much of myself. Like, I feel like, oh, okay, we just don't resonate. They don't fool with me like that. That's cool. I'm going by my way. I'm going this way. Okay. So, and I think you guys should adopt that too. I think you should adopt that, like understanding that you have to honor that though, because everybody have their own thoughts, dreams, goals. You're your own superhero. Like, what do you want to do? Okay, what do you want to do? Because chasing somebody else's dreams, chasing somebody else, trying to make them fit into this box that they don't want to be in is not going to be healthy or beneficial to you or them. Okay. So we have to learn how to release, and that is beautiful in order to release them to become the highest version of themselves. Okay. Now, you might notice you might start questioning your beliefs and conditions. I started doing this, guys. I cannot tell you how many scary things that I had come up subconsciously because of the programming that was built into me since I was a kid, right? But we all understand this from a religious point because we're always taught fear. We're taught fear. That's my view on it. You know, if you disagree, that's fine. However, it's fear-based to me. I feel like a lot of it is fear-based and fear-mongering. But, you know, to each his own. You know, I can't tell you what it feels like to you. I know what it feels like to me. I don't want to live my life in fear. I want to do good things, but I don't want to live my life in fear if I don't or if I mess up, you know. I just don't want to do that. So for me, you know, it just depends. But for you, whatever fits, go with it. But questioning those beliefs, there's family beliefs, and it's not just religion, guys. It's family beliefs. It's the beliefs that's been instilled in you. It's cultural things too. We have a cultural thing that goes around, right? We don't really support each other as much. We try to fit each other into a box to make each other what we want them to be instead of letting people be free and open and just being able, because it's not on the same path, you know, as other people. And I think that's something that we need to work on as a people, okay? Not just skin color, but as a people, we need to work on this because trying to make people fit into molds does not work. That's why people's energy be chaotic. That's why they be angry. That's why they're sad. That's why they're drinking, they're smoking. That's why they don't know how to communicate how they feel. It's key, right? It's the key to everything. And sometimes, like me personally, I feel like you should question everything, period. So I don't want nobody just telling me, oh, in order to you know, not go to hell, you know, you gotta be XYZ. I don't want that. I want the truth. Like I don't want people just be giving me something from a book that was written by somebody who wasn't even Jesus. I'm just saying. Don't hate me, but I'm just saying. Like I want truth. I want facts. I want details. And there may be things that we may never ever get, you know. But I feel like at some point avoiding that question, avoiding all these things is not going to benefit us in the way that we want. And I know that statement was controversial, but at the end of the day, it's my truth. I don't want to just be living off of a book. I want to be living and free and whole and in peace and love and enjoyment. I want to be free. I don't want to be scared all the time, okay? But also exploring your own truths, which is my truth, right? Like, what is your truth? What is your truth? You know, and this isn't to belittle anybody or make you feel bad about what you believe in, okay? We don't do that here. I can only speak my truth from my perspective, the same way you can speak your truth from your perspective. This is not a debate. We are not debating here, okay? You have your truth. Everyone else has their truth. So respect everybody's opinion, okay? Okay, listen. So deconstruction is the first step to construction, right? Reconstruction, because we have to break down a lot of these old limiting beliefs, a lot of these old systems, a lot of these traditions, a lot of these family traditions, religious traditions, whatever. We have to break them down in order to get to that space where we are fully allowing ourselves to expand, because we shouldn't keep ourselves small. We shouldn't keep ourselves in this box. We shouldn't keep ourselves in a place where it feels like, man, I gotta stay here. I can't go over there. I can't go over there. I just gotta stay in this spot. Like, that's hard to do. That's why a lot of people feel so guilty. That when it comes to religion, when it comes to things that they no longer desire, like, that's why. But I feel like at the end of the day, like, we have to stand up for our own truths. We have to follow what it is that our heart is telling us to follow. Because at the end of the day, who's going to do it if you don't? Who's going to do that for you? Nobody's going to do it for you. Okay? Now, experience the void or in between phases. Okay? This means you're letting go of the old and the new hasn't fully arrived yet. Okay? The new has not fully arrived yet. Now, this is difficult because we're always left feeling like, did we make the right choice? Is this the right thing? Because things are falling away bit by bit. Just imagine like something like breaking down into little pieces and flying away. This is how it's happening, right? Like, it's just pieces of the old version of you just flying away slowly, one by one, and you're going through this stage, and it can feel confusing and stuff. But at the end of the day, if you allow yourself to just breathe and understand and speak what it is that you desire, it truly can help you, right? So I think it's important that we understand that void is not like a punishment. It is like literally your preparation for the next phase. Okay, this is why you meditate. This is why you breathe. This is why you allow yourself to just be in your highest state, as high as you can be in your highest state. Okay, now the desire to express yourself, the authentic self, your authentic self, being able to be free. I mean, if you want to wear a green and white polka dot parachute pants and yellow and red shirt and blue sunglasses and brown shoes or whatever, do you. I don't care. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm the type of person that is not going to care. If you do you, okay? If you see me and you see me out and I'm not looking the way society say I should be looking, it's okay. Let me do me, do you. Do you, because at the end of the day, it's you. What make you feel good, okay? Because not all things that cookie cutter based things feel good to everyone. You have a desire to break free from that, and that breaking free is what's going to allow you to stand up with more confidence, for one, and it's going to allow you to be open to the ideas of you shifting and changing into bigger and grander places and scales, because it's just beautiful, right? Okay, so when you start feeling called to heal childhood wounds and trauma, okay, now don't just heal because people say you should heal. You should be healing because you know it's the right thing for you right now. It feels like the right thing for you right now. Not because it's a trend to heal, because people get out here and they pretend to heal. They're not healing, okay? So, and it becomes difficult because it's not something that you subconsciously have chosen. It's something that you're playing follow the leader with. So it's important that it resonates with you. It resonates with you. And that means going back to childhood trauma or just trauma in period, right? So be good with that, all right? So your inner peace becomes non-negotiable. Oh my God. Like, I cannot tell you guys how much this is important to me. Like, my peace is non-negotiable. If I gotta tell you, hey, I don't want you in my yard. Hey, I don't want you in my space. Hey, I don't want you at my door. Hey, I don't want this. I don't want that, then I'm going to do that a million times if I have to, because it is non-negotiable for me. There are things, bro, I'm telling y'all need to stand on your power, bro. Stand on your power. Because if you allow the old things to come into play, guess what? They are going to cross that boundary and pull you right back into the things that you no longer desire or care about. Okay, so setting clear boundaries is important. Setting those clear boundaries, removing drama and chaos, all that stuff start to become unbearable to you When you're in this phase, when your inner peace become non-negotiable, you're not going to want to be sitting up here arguing with people. You're not going to want to sit up here and be being messy, gossiping, and worried about what the next person got on. You're not going to do that. When your peace become non-negotiable, none of that stuff matters, okay? And you start to prioritize your mental and emotional well-being, which is why it doesn't matter anymore. You don't want to deal with it. You don't want to be around that person that's finna gossip or talk about people. You don't want to be in that space where you with messy people, or you don't want to be in that space where you got to fuss and fight all the time. Nobody wants that, okay? Especially when you're on your healing journey. So your peace is the new baseline. This is where you're drawing the line in the sand, just straight across. Like, nope. It can't come past this part because I don't desire that. I don't desire that. Therefore, my peace is non-negotiable. My peace is non-negotiable. I'm going to say it again, guys, because I think this is key. Your peace is non-negotiable. There is nothing anybody can do and say that can make you feel like it is. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Your peace is non-negotiable. Okay? So, listen. You're not broken. You're not lost. All these things just mean that you have shifted into a new reality. You have shifted your timeline. You have shifted and you are spiritually awakening and you're in the midst of it. But these things falling away means that you are moving forward and up the ladder on your spiritual journey. It's nothing to be afraid of. What you do need to do is make sure you're protecting your peace, protecting your energy, and making sure you're listening to your inner compass, your heart, what you have inside, those inner thoughts that come up. If they're negative, stop them at the door. Stop them at the door. There's nothing for them to say to you. There's nothing for your negative thoughts to show you. Stop them at the door. Okay? Now, if you're in that space where you start to feel like, okay, you're awakening, you're shedding or whatever is coming too much, what do? You need to ground. Go outside barefoot. Stand on the ground if you can. Not the concrete, but the grass. Grass, dirt. Okay? Grass and dirt. Make sure you are doing this because it's going to energize you. It's going to remove things from you. In my, I think, vibrations video posted a while back, it shows you, like, you can go watch that video. It talks about your vibration, your frequency, and grounding, okay? It is important that we understand what grounding really is. It's a reason they made tennis shoes. It's a reason they made heels, okay? Do your research. Understand that you are the key. You are walking like electronics, okay? You're like walking electronics. You have to charge. Go out in the grass, go out in nature, sit and breathe, stare at the trees, do everything. Everything that's going to allow you to ground and release any energy and stagnation that may be building up. Because if you don't release, if you don't do that, then life can start to feel chaotic and you start to feel overwhelmed by a lot of the things that are going on around you, okay? And we don't resonate with that. So understand that you're just outgrowing the old versions of you, the old environments, the old people. And that is perfectly amazing, okay? Because that means that you are healing, you are shifting, and you are on that journey to being the best version of you. And I'm so grateful that you were here to watch this video. If this video has resonated with you, down below, let me know that you love it, okay? Now, until next time, guys, peace.